If you've ever felt like shyness is holding you back from connecting with others, you're not alone. I used to be incredibly shy, to the point where I would use my hair to hide my eyes so I wouldn't have to look directly at people, just to avoid eye contact. That's why to this day, this eye has a bigger minus than this eye. Today, I want to share my journey from that shy girl to someone who can speak on stage confidently and also connect with others deeply. I have 6 main tips, so let's get into it. The first tip is cognitive reappraisal, aka changing the narrative. Cognitive reappraisal is an emotion regulation strategy where you change your thoughts about a situation to alter your emotional response, often shifting from a negative to a more positive or neutral perspective. But how does this help you with feeling shy? Instead of looking at your nervousness as fear, I started viewing it as excitement. So I was just reframing how I felt about being scared into being excited. For example, if I was scared about giving a speech or I was scared about talking to someone new, I would reframe it in my mind as, I am so excited to share my ideas with everyone. I am so excited to make new friends. So much of life is a mindscape, and how you think about your life and how you interpret the situations that you're in makes a huge difference. It's not the situation, but it's how you interpret it. Fun fact. Both anxiety and excitement produce similar psychological reactions because they both activate our sympathetic nervous system. That makes it a whole lot easier to associate or switch anxiety and that mindset of anxiety to that mindset of excitement and that feeling of excitement. This simple shift in changing a more negative outlook into a more positive one has made a huge difference in my social interactions because I can now approach it with a more positive mindset. Tip number 2. Redefining my shy identity. The way you label yourself and the way you speak to yourself about yourself has a huge, huge impact. For example, if you tell yourself, oh, I'm a lazy person, like I don't go to the gym, then you're probably more likely not to go to the gym. But if you tell yourself, I am a gym girly, then you're going to show up as a gym girly. The same goes with being shy. So I stopped telling myself that I'm a shy person. I completely ditched that vocabulary and that kind of language about myself in my own head and the way I talked about myself to others as well. Like I would never introduce myself as, hi, I'm Evelyn and I'm a bit shy because I don't associate my identity as being shy anymore. I realized that labeling myself as shy was reinforcing that shy behavior and kind of like giving, I don't know, evidence or justice to what I labeled myself as, which is not what we want. We're trying to move away from that identity because while it's not a bad thing to be shy, if it limits your connection with other people and it makes you not as confident as you can be, then that's when it's bad. Instead, when I was feeling shy, that's exactly what I said to myself. I would state, I'm feeling shy right now, which is very different from I'm a shy person. Saying that you're feeling shy right now and acknowledging that feeling, that's completely fine. And it's actually really good because you can recognize that kind of emotion with yourself and you're building trust with yourself because you're holding your own hand and you're saying like, oh, I see you and I feel you. I feel the shyness coming from you. But that's just right now. It's just a temporary state rather than a fixed trait. And that shift is really, really important because we are what we believe we are. So if you believe you're shy, if you believe you're a lazy girl, then that's what you will be. Take into consideration what kind of labels you put on yourself, especially with shy, lazy, unconfident, because those, they need to be thrown into the trash, in your mind trash, actually outside of your mind, maybe in a literal trash. I don't know. I think it'd be fun if you would write down all the things you never want to associate with yourself, like unconfident, lazy, unproductive, mean. Like write those things down on a piece of paper and then crumple it and throw it in a trash can. I think that'd be so fun. I have not tried that yet, but if you do, let me know if it works because I think it would be such like a powerful way of putting your thoughts into paper and then releasing it and just like making it exit your life, you know? Banishing it from your life. Yeah. So remember, replace I am shy with I am feeling shy right now. The right now is extremely important and the feeling is also extremely important because what you feel is not what you are. Tip number 3, shifting the focus from myself to others. I think so often when you're shy, and especially in social situations, most of it is really exacerbated by just you being perceived by yourself, you being hyper aware or hyper vigilant of how you appear to other people. Especially for people who struggle with social anxiety, when you keep thinking about yourself, you're trapped in that cycle of insecurity and self-judgment and just that intense amount of self-focus, which is not that healthy. It's healthy to be aware of yourself and your actions and how what you say might come across to others, but being too deep in that actually does more harm than good. And I'm sure you've noticed this as well. Like when you're overthinking about what you're doing, when you're just stressed about how you're appearing to other people, you also come off like stiff and not as natural and not as engaged in that social situation. And honestly, that is all just so unnecessary. People are always more focused on themselves rather than you. So why not follow suit? Why not you also start focusing on them more? In fact, did you know that by being an active listener and asking more questions, you will literally make more friends in 2 months than if you just talked about yourself? People love to talk about themselves. So just let them. It is literally the easiest hack. Practice active listening and asking open-ended questions. For me, before I go to any social situation, especially like when I was first new and like trying to get out of my shy era, I would literally memorize a list of open-ended questions so I could just ask anyone on the fly. A really good one that I like is, where did you grow up? Do you like your mom or your dad more? Like just simple, silly questions like that. But if you're in a professional setting, maybe do something like, what is the biggest thing you've learned in your role at blah, blah, blah? Prepare these open-ended questions and just be ready to actively listen instead of trying to answer your own questions. Of course, if people ask you things, you have to respond and keep a natural flow of the conversation. But it helps so much when you're putting the focus on others instead of yourself. And it's much better in how people perceive you as well. They'll perceive you as someone attentive, someone who's able to give to others instead of just take from others. Being able to give someone attention is actually so valuable. And it's really rare nowadays, especially with like everyone being addicted to their phones. So if you're able to give that attention and that care and go that extra mile to ask very intuitive and engaging questions, that is so impressive and people appreciate that so much. Tip number 4, build a relationship with yourself. There's this quote that comes to mind when I think about this, and I think it's so overhyped and it's so famous, but it's true. It's basically that the most important relationship you will have in your whole life is the relationship you have with yourself. And it's so true because at the end of the day, you only have you. Spending time alone and getting to know myself has really helped me feel more comfortable in my own skin. And then that internal confidence that I've gained through all this alone time naturally reflects in the conversations and the interactions I have with other people. Your relationship with yourself shines through all your other relationships, and how you treat yourself is so evident to other people as well, like in your micro actions, your daily habits. So really build that trust with yourself and understand and get to know yourself more. Some materials that really help are journaling, mindfulness. I want to say meditation, but to be honest, I'm not a meditation kind of girly. I've never been a meditation kind of girly. I want to be because I think it will provide so much like knowledge and it will help a lot, but I haven't gotten there yet. And of course, there's self-care routines. Like having a good self-care routine helps you build trust in yourself and also helps you understand yourself more, whether it be your skin, your body, what you like, what you don't like. Like there's so much to learn about yourself and so much I'm learning about myself every day. I used to be the kind of person that hated being alone. Like I would always need to go out. Like in my teen years, I was pretty much never at home because I had major FOMO. But actually, I've really come to enjoy my own company as I grew up, especially after the pandemic when I kind of slowed things down and I realized, oh, it's nice to be alone. It's nice to have this peace and quiet and to think about these things about myself. Like the other day, I learned that I really don't like eating after 7 p.m. because I get so bloated. I think that sounds really obvious and it sounds like an easy thing to notice, but it took me a long time to feel it in my body and recognize how I'm feeling. I also love fruits. I love eating fruits before my actual meal. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. These kind of things that I'm noticing about my body and about myself really helps me build that relationship with myself. So I invite you as well to notice a lot of things about yourself and, take note of things that you like, things your body likes, things your skin likes. My skin does not like sugar. I feel like that's an obvious thing and it's something my mom has always told me, but I've kind of been like, no, mom, I'm young. Sugar is fine. But it really does not like sugar. I noticed that because after I ate like 2 chocolate bars, not my best moment, but yeah, I broke out a lot. And I was like thinking about like, is this a trend? Is this something that's been happening over and over again? And I looked back at my journal because I journal about like when I have really bad breakouts because it affects my mood, right? I journal about it and I'm like, oh shit, yeah. 2 days ago, I also ate like a whole bag of M&Ms. Like that's why. Like it's a trend that keeps happening. And because I'm able to notice it, now I know myself more. And that feels great. It feels really good to know yourself. Positive self-perception overall will also reduce your shyness and enhance your overall social interactions. So another win-win. Tip number 5, embracing your right to take up space. After my second breakup, I had a huge meltdown and I made an impulse purchase of this like the art of self-love, something like that. It was like something about like self-love journey and it was like a journaling thing. It was the first time I really bought something online And I think it was a really good purchase actually, because one of the things that it really taught me is that because I am here on this earth and like I'm physically here, I am already worthy. Without doing anything, without having to do anything extra and prove myself, I'm already worthy. I'm worthy of love and I'm worthy of taking up space. And me at like 19 after that breakup, that was like life-changing news to me. And like looking back now, it's very obvious, right? It's something that I think we all should have been taught when we were younger and that we all needed to know. But I learned it a bit late, I think. And I just remember how much it impacted me. And I remember crying the first time I read that, like, because you are here, because you exist, you're worthy of love and you're worthy of being seen and appreciated by others. You're worthy just because you are you. And I got so emotional because I was like, I am worthy. I can take up space. And I think it really helped me pivot from being shy and shrinking myself to being more confident and being bold, because I was like, yeah, heck yeah, I can take up space. I deserve it. Not even I deserve it. I'm worthy of it just because I am. Just remind yourself that you can take up space. Like, it's not a crime for you to want to be heard, want to speak out about things. Because I think that for me was a really big block and one of the reasons why I was very shrinking and like very shell-like. The actionable tip for this fifth tip is to practice assertiveness daily. Like, find pockets of space where you can be assertive and bring your own voice. For example, try to actively participate in social discussions, school discussions, or discussions in the workplace. And also be okay with saying no. Like, practice saying no in the mirror, practice saying no to things you don't like. Recognize first the things you want to say no to. Like, I think it took me so long to recognize I don't want to do this. I don't want to go out past 9 p.m. That makes me sound like a real loser. But know what you want to say no to. And like, say no without feeling guilty. Say no without over explaining the reason why you're saying no. Practice these little moments of assertiveness in your daily life. It becomes a habit and you become more used to like taking up space and speaking up for yourself. And that is honestly such a good feeling. It feels good to know that you've got your own back. Tip number 6. This is about the power of creating content. I actually talk more about this in this video called Everyone Should Create Content. But for this video, I want to talk about how creating content really kind of just propelled me to being super confident and to a point really arrogant, and then I brought it back to being like normal confident. That's a different discussion for another time. When I first started creating content, it was really freaking scary. Being on camera is not easy, especially like on video. On photos, it's somewhat easier because you can pose and you can edit a lot, but in video, it's so much harder because it's more interaction, right? It's more you and me. It's like there's no posing or like pre-planned barrier. And what was really hard for me was showing my bare skin online. I eventually did that for a lot of skincare and beauty brands, and I'm glad I did it because I grew to love my bare skin more. Like, I always used to be so ashamed because I have a lot of acne scars and I hate showing that to people. But the more I did, the more I was like, who cares? I have acne scars. So what? A lot of people do, and they are still beautiful, and I am still beautiful. In general, creating content really pushed me outside my comfort zone. And I really think that my confidence would not be where it is if it not been for content creating. Because also not just pushing myself out of my comfort zone and letting myself be seen by other people, the feedback that I got from other people was so overwhelmingly positive. And maybe it's fake, I don't know, I don't really care. The way it made me feel was definitely real. Like seeing comments like, oh my god, your bare skin looks fine, blah, 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 and like reassuring you, or saying like, your voice is so nice, blah, blah, blah. Especially when I have always been told that my voice is too shrill and like really annoying and like kind of nasal. Being told that my voice is soothing and it's nice, like that really warmed my heart and that really makes me feel confident. Maybe this is like kind of going to a more superficial place because this is like other people's outside validation that has helped me. But it did help me. Like, I'm honestly sharing with you that people's validation, people's words from the outside, they might be fake. I don't know what their intentions were behind them, or like if it's like just a, I don't know, a template they just copy and paste. But it helped me. That was really the biggest power and the biggest gift content creation gave me. Not the money, not the fame, not the anything else, but just this deeper appreciation of myself. And I don't know if this tip is applicable for everyone because maybe not everyone wants to film themselves and put themselves out there. But I'm telling you, like filming yourself and then seeing it and then getting used to the cringe of watching yourself and hearing yourself, That has helped me a lot with like just appreciating and accepting who I am. Like, yeah, maybe my voice is a bit annoying and maybe it is a bit shrill and maybe the way I talk or the way my mouth moves is weird. But so what? That's me, you know? Like, what am I gonna do? The only thing I can do is love it and accept it. Because if you don't love and accept yourself, then who will? The more you practice doing it, like whether it be speaking in public, taking photos in public, just taking photos in general, or presenting in public, the better you become at it and the more confident you become. So just start if you want to. And I hope you do. You can just film it and keep it for yourself, like keep it private. But also don't be scared to put yourself out there. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Besides like very bad things like stalkers and cyber safety, be safe online. Overcoming shyness isn't about being someone else. It's just about being the best version of you and the version that you're meant to be. And remember, it's 100% okay to be shy. Like, that's normal. I feel it too sometimes. But pushing past that discomfort and not letting that feeling stop you from making meaningful connections, that's what's important. Being more confident, overcoming that shyness, being more comfortable talking and sharing your ideas in public or with other people, that's a journey. And so you will have setbacks and you will have days where you feel like, oh my God, I can't do it. Oh my God, I just can't go out today. I can't go to an event. But how you choose to address it and how you choose to move forward, that's the most important. A journey will also not always be linear. It will be up and down and like swirling all around. But hopefully you will come out on the other side even stronger and even more confident and appreciative of yourself. Above all, I want you to remember to be kind to yourself. Because honestly, it's your first time at life. So many things are going to be new to you, and maybe your environment is not the optimal one, or there are other things holding you back. So be kind to yourself and encourage yourself. If you're interested to hear more about how content creation can boost your self-confidence, among many other things, check out this video, which is why everyone should create content, and it's not about the money or the fame. I hope you'll stick around for more well-being and self-development vibes, but also I want to talk about content creation versus my corporate life. If you want to recommend any video topics down below in the comments, I would really appreciate that, and I would love to read all of them and make them for you. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!